The following video is brought to you by the Space Coast Association of Realtors.
Welcome to the session on the comprehensive CMA. We did do another session on the quick CMA. We'll now get into the comprehensive, which is a full-blown CMA report where you can have a cover sheet, cover letter, you got graphs, mapping, your testimonials, your marketing plan, your resume. All those things will come together into one report that'll be created as a PDF, which you can email or print for your client. Before we go into the comprehensive CMA, just a quick reminder about our browser optimizer button here before you log in. If you're using Internet Explorer, you can always check the browser optimizer to make sure that your browser is compatible with Innovia. And if there's anything over here on the right that says fix, then you'll want to click that fix button, and then once those are fixed, you can click continue, and then you can log into the system, and you shouldn't have a great deal of difficulty once you get that done. So let me log in here. And you remember the buttons on the right-hand side of Innovia. You're going to find a button there that says Comprehensive CMA, right below Standard Forms. And you click on that button. And if it's the first time you're doing a comprehensive CMA, you won't have a big list like this, but you'll build that list up as you do more and more comprehensive CMAs. We're going to do a brand new one, and to put a brand new one in the system, you start by either cloning an existing listing or creating a new listing. Okay, so if you have looked up the property in MLS and you found out that at some point in time it had been in the MLS and maybe expired or even sold, you can clone that listing. So you click clone listing, you've got the ML number, so you'll type that in. And click next. And that will have the subject property information already there. Make any adjustments you want to make. And then click next. At that point, you want to click Edit Listing, and it'll show you all the information that was in the previous listing that you've just cloned. So that's one way to get started. A couple notes on that. If you do clone the listing for your comprehensive CMA, you may want to go in and take out the old narrative and the old directions, so they don't show up in the new CMA, and then just review the rest of the data to make sure it's accurate for your property. You want to take on something that the previous person didn't put in right because you went ahead and cloned it. The other option, if it's not been in MLS, is to go down to the button next to Clone Existing and click on New. So you would click on New, choose the property type, click Next. And if it wasn't in MLS, it certainly was in the tax record. So you should have gone to the tax records and pulled up that property by the owner's name or address and obtained the tax account number. So we did that for our subject property and found the tax account number to be 243-7216. You type that in and click on Populate Tax Info, and it'll grab a number of fields from the property appraiser's system and populate it into your CMA listing entry. So it'll put in the owner's name, tax ID number, the tax year, the plat book, street address, state, we can add in county here, the city, we would put in the MLS area. You have to click the drop down box and go to our area, which is Cocoa Beach. We can type in the subdivision name, click on the property type, single family here in this case. The living square footage and the year built were auto-populated from the tax records again. If you have the total square footage, add that. You should have the bedrooms and bathrooms, put those in. You may have had to obtain those from the seller because it's not in the property appraiser's database. And fill in the rest of the fields as best you can. So we know it's on waterfront, we know it's on canal, there's a fireplace and a pool. Let's see here, is split bedroom plan. Is it a short sale or not? Put in any dimension information you might have, because you want that cover page, that subject property page, to be filled up as much as possible. You don't want it to look all blank when you go in to have your presentation in front of the seller. So check all these different things that apply. Include your own narrative, what you would be saying if you were to put it in MLS. You don't need to really input directions or agent remarks, but you'll want to go through and click on all of the coded features that apply. So we got, if it's a canal front, so what do we have? We have a bulkheaded seawall, it's direct water, it's a 2-car garage, it's has fruit trees, it's wooded, the construction is concrete block, the roof is shingle, siding is stucco, flooring is tile and carpet. Any other additional rooms, check on those. Anything that pertain to the master bedroom. Things that pertain to the interior features. Oh, there's a built-in bookcase, walk-in closets, fireplace, and open floor plan. Any exterior features that apply. And remember, this is not to set up the comps, this is just to set up the subject property information. So all of these that you can check will make your subject property page look all the better. Okay, we have an in-ground pool, heated, automatic cleaner, any utilities, cooling is electric, hot water is electric, utilities, city water, and so on and so forth until you've got all of the coded features checked that you want to check for your property, and you then click on Save Listing. Okay, so now you've got the owner's name and address up here. Anything you need to adjust, you can adjust. And this is going to appear on your cover sheet. The document title can be whatever you like to call it, comprehensive CMA, what's my home worth, anything that you can come up with. And then click the Next button. And then once you've done that, you want to upload photos. I would highly suggest that you take at least one exterior photo of the property. If you don't have access to the interior to take additional photos, at least you'll have the one photo done when you do obtain the listing, and then that will look real nice on your cover sheet rather than having a blank spot where a picture should be. So you've taken one picture, find it under your pictures that you've uploaded from your camera, click on the picture, click Save, and that'll load the subject property in, and that'll make it look real nice in your CMA. If you don't have any additional photos, other additional photos, you could take, entryway photos. If it's a nice gated community, you could have stuff like that in there. Click on Back to CMA. And after you've uploaded photos, you hit Next. And now we're going to search for our comps. Innovia has a feature up here. You can see where it says Selected Fields and Available Fields. And you can click on the different fields and move them over here and then prioritize them in the area of most importance, and then run your search by hitting Next. And that'll give you a list of all the matches based on the way you prioritize those features. My suggestion would be to do the manual search instead. So you click on manual search, and you get your Innovia search screen. And you can go in and you could choose actives and solds. So you choose active, you choose sold, and you want residential, single family. You don't want to have a sold price above 400. And then you have close date. Under close date, you can use the little calendars here. Click on the calendar, hit the back arrows to go back as many months as you want to go back. Click on the date, and it'll load in the date, and then you can click on the calendar again and click on today. Okay? You can key in the dates manually. Or you can do a little shortcut in dates. You can do the T shortcut. And you can do that on any dates in Innovia. So in our close date, let's say we want to go back 6 months. So we could do T minus 180, 185, something like that to indicate 6 months back. So T minus however many days you want to go back, 365 for a year, T minus 90 for 90 days, of course, however you want to do it. Then you want to go through and start inputting the rest of your fields that you want the comparables to be based on. So we're going to go into area Cocoa Beach. And we're not going to choose subdivision because we're going to try to get everything within the Cocoa Beach areas that's on the canal. So we say waterfront, canal with the pool, private. You could put in your range of year builts. Put in your square footage. Put in your bedrooms and bathrooms, whatever the subject property has. Go back into your coded features, this time to redefine your search or help define your search. So if you had to put in dwelling style, boathouse, boat lift, if the subject property had those, you'd want to check on those and include those in your search. Garage, parking, construction, roof. And then some of these others you don't want to get too detailed as far as these interior and exterior features. You want to use these coded features to kind of define your search, but not over-define your search, so you end up with no matches or very few matches. So choose the ones that apply, and again, be a little discreet, and then click Accept, and save your coded features. Then you want to go and do your search, so you move over here, click on the Search button, and it found 21 matches, so we'll click Printer Friendly. And then you can go through and click on the ones that you want to use in your CMA. So we'll choose the ones here active that are in the subject property, same subdivision, which is Venetian Way. And then we'll do the same for our solds. Click the ones that most apply. When you've chosen the ones that you want, you go to Use Checked, just like you do in the regular search. It'll list them here as being part of your CMA. If you don't want to use any of them, you can just uncheck them. Again, you've got a link to their ML numbers if you want to do further research on each property to see if that's a property that you want to include in the CMA or not. Click the Next button, and now you'll go through and put your CMA together. You'll notice some of the things at the bottom, like the agent resume, testimonials, and marketing plan. When I show you those all start out as blank templates. So the first time you go to do a comprehensive CMA, you need to plan to take some time to complete those. And once you complete them the first time, they'll be saved for future CMAs. But it's real easy to self-educate yourself. You click on each page, and it'll tell you down here exactly what you can do. The cover page for the document, you can select from one of 3 styles. So that would mean you'd go up to Edit, edit your title. That all looks good. Click Next, and then choose which one of the 3 styles you want. Standard, which is just text information, information about the property, your contact information, etc. You can include a cover page with your photo in it, or the cover page with the property in it, which is the one that I recommend, where you at least drive by the front of the property and take the front photo. Then you click the Next button, and you can take a look at Table of Contents. Table of Contents, it's not changeable, not editable, so you just leave that alone. You got a cover letter, a customizable cover letter for the presentation. Again, the first time you go into the comp CMA, you'll have a customized CMA or a cover letter for you from Innovia, but you can go in and edit that just like you do in the word processor and make any changes and additions that you want to make, and then save it as your default cover letter for future CMAs. Then we have the subject property flyer. This is important. We'll see this in a little bit, but that's where it's going to have the subject property picture and all the details of the subject property. The CMA summary, you can do a preview of it. This is what the CMA summary is going to look like. Comparable flyers and the 3-up picture CMA. The comparable flyers is going to be one single page for each one of your comps. The 3-up picture CMA would be 3 per page. So you probably want to choose one or the other to include in the CMA. You don't necessarily need to do both. So a lot of depend on how many pages you want and how many comparables you ended up with in your CMA analysis. Recommended price, you can edit that. You can go in and put in your own introductory text on how you came upon the price for the property. You can make a price adjustment. The CMA comes up with its suggested selling price by averaging the sold properties. Even though we included actives in here, they don't really come into play in the recommendation of the price. So you can leave it as it is, or you can adjust it, put in your own price, and you can even have it show as a range. So you can check this box and put in that you want it displayed as a range above or below 5%, let's say. And then you can add additional text here on information on how you came about in determining that particular price. So you click Save for the recommended price. If you have to get more detailed, if you have some unique features of your subject property and you want to show those values, you can go into the price adjusted comparables, and you can use these options like for bedrooms or bathrooms. Our subject property has 5. Most of the other comparables have only 4 or 3. So that will take this adjustment amount and adjust the property accordingly. Same would be true for the baths, the living square footage, and the pool. If you wanted to add additional fields, you'd click on Add Remove Fields, and you could add things in there if it was a gated community or not, if it was a split bedroom or not, you could add in a value for that. Waterfront, we already have that as waterfront, but if you had comparables that weren't on the water, you'd have to go in and make an adjustment for them not being on the water, so you'd have to add waterfront type in there. So those would be features that are in the MLS already that you do under Add and Remove Fields. If it's a non-MLS field, something like even condition, you know, if your subject property happened to be a foreclosure and wasn't left in good condition and all of your comps are in good condition, then you could add a field such as condition, and you'd click Save, and then based on your own knowledge of the area, so you'd have condition, and maybe your subject property, hopefully not, but it would be poor. And then you could evaluate the other property. So this property was excellent. You could add that in and make an adjustment for that. And this is really you doing what you know how to do. So that would be a way to put in a non-MLS feature to make the adjustments to your property. Another example that we had was summer kitchen. So we could make adjustments if the subject property had a summer kitchen and the rest of the properties did or did not have. Okay, so when you're done, you click Save Changes and return to worksheet, and then click Next. Okay, then we have these items here. Graphical analysis, you don't change anything on that. Map display, you don't change anything on that. You have your resume. When you click on Edit for the resume, you have a blank template that you start out with. So you have a header table, and then you fill in the information for that header. So if you're putting in your resume, you went to college, you put that in, any schooling that you've done through the realtor schools, and et cetera, you click on that and save. Same is true for testimonials. You click Edit, you've got a blank template, you put the customer's name in, what they said about you, and do that for each section of the template that you want to fill out. Marketing plan. This is a good one. You want to fill out the marketing plan. You know, what are you going to do with the property? You're going to put it in Brevard MLS. We're going to put it on Realtor.com. We're going to advertise it in Homes and Land magazine. All the different marketing things that you're going to do for the seller. So those three things, the agent resume, the testimonials, and the marketing plan are blank templates. When you do the CMA for the first time, complete those, and they'll be saved for all future CMAs. Last thing is the seller estimated proceeds. You can click on that. It's a little difficult in some cases to do an accurate seller estimated proceeds, but if you have the mortgage information and the tax information, you can fill out the seller's estimated proceeds so that the seller can get an idea of how much they might walk away from at the closing table. Once those are all done, you click Next. We've got Adobe on our computer. It'll create the report, which you can email as an attachment or print out or just save it anywhere as a PDF. So it takes a little bit of time for it to put the whole report together, but then you'll have a nice multi-page report. See what I mean by the front picture? It looks a lot better if you don't have any picture at all. And then you have your table of contents, your cover letter, your subject property. See what I mean by having the picture there? And you filled out all the data at the very beginning when we started with the comprehensive CMA. If we had additional photos, they could be here. Your comparative market analysis summary gives you the price per square footage, average price, median price, days on market, your single page, comparable pages, and then your 3 up per page, and then you have your price recommendation that we talked about, your price adjustable page, your graph, your map, your resume, your testimonials, and your marketing plan with the seller's estimated proceeds at the end. So then all you have to do is click over here to send it, and you can shoot it off to your customer. Very easy.
For more information, go to www.space321.com.